What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review, the first one of 2020. That's pretty wild because my brain is still living in 2019. But anyways, I'm Chase Lee, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is Underwater. Now, this one comes from 20th Century Fox. It is directed by William Eubank, and this one tells the tale of deep-sea researchers that are 6 miles deep into the ocean. They got a laboratory down there. You go across the seabed, they got another laboratory and another one. It's like a whole city of laboratories down there. Who's funding this? Whatever is happening down there, it's not good news. It's never good news when you have that many laboratories down there 6 miles deep. It's just not. So, so one day, a laboratory is crushed from what appears to be an earthquake because this company drills a lot into the earth. For what, I'm not really sure, and to be quite honest, they mentioned it early on in the movie, but I totally forgot because it happened within like 2 seconds and it's never really brought up again. They're researching stuff down there, doing sciencey things, but maybe an earthquake caused this laboratory to crush, and now the remaining crew members have to find safety, aka escape pods, to shoot back up to the ocean's surface. That is your movie. Doesn't really matter what they're studying down there, but maybe it wasn't an earthquake, and maybe it was a creature, a monster of sorts, a being to the unknown. And they're trying to figure that out as they're trying to escape it. They're like, whoa, what is this chasing us? We'll never know. But yeah, so that is your movie. It is a creature feature survival film starring Kristen Stewart with a badass buzz cut that I, for one, cannot pull off, and I'm jealous by because I look like a fat thumb when I get a buzz cut. So going into this movie, I saw the trailer. I thought it looked fine. And going to see the movie and walking out of the movie, I also thought the movie was fine. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just somewhere in the middle. It's passable entertainment. And to be quite frank with you, if you want to spend your time and money going to the cinemas this weekend and watching this, give it a shot. There's worse options out there. Maybe a matinee, not really full price. I don't think it's worth it. But I think you would probably be pleasantly surprised. If you like, science fiction, horror films, creature features, thriller, suspense, it's a bunch of genres and subgenres at once. But I think if one of those appeals to you, I think you'll really like it. Yes, is it Alien underwater? Sure. Is it Life from like 2 years ago, just underwater? Sure. These movies are going to keep getting made, folks, and we're going to be here to review them. But for this particular movie, it's just okay. A couple things I really appreciate about this movie. One, William Eubank, the director. He did not waste any time with this movie. Don't worry about characters and setting them up and developing them. That is for posh people. We're not doing that. What William Eubank does, he just jumps us right into the action, and that's it. Once the incident happens and these people survive and they're like, we got to get to safety, that's it for an hour and a half. I respect that. He was able to craft a movie from start to finish, 95 minutes long, and just make it about these 5 people surviving. Now, is there some character development there? Sure. In passing conversation, we hear that one of them has a husband, one of them has a dog. That's about it. But at least they tried. Does this movie have great, characters to follow and, their backstories? Is it rich with detail in that? No. You come here for the creatures, the scares, and just people trying to survive. That's what you're here for, and that's what you're going to get because there's no fat on this thing. It is a lean, mean, 95-minute movie machine of just watching that. If that's what you're into, I think you'll really dig it. So I respect the fact that there is no wasted padding around this movie. Get straight to the point. Second thing, the production design is killer in this movie. I'm not even joking. Sets, costumes, props, the intricacy and detail of just how dirty and grimy it looks, and you feel like you're claustrophobic while watching this thing. You feel like you're there with them. It's just, there was something about the actual production value of this movie that I found really admirable. Like, someone actually gave an effort, and that's always a great thing. And so it just, I don't know, it looked really nice. And maybe it's because 20th Century Fox has made stuff like Alien and Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and they're just borrowing from other sets and just redecorating them. I don't really care. I thought everything looked pretty stellar in that regard. So in terms of actual production value, kudos to that. Maybe not the creatures so much, but those were all CGI characters. So there's that. All the practical stuff, great. So to get into some of the acting, Kristen Stewart, she's fine. And to be honest with you, I'd rather watch this than Charlie's Angels reboot that she just did. So, I mean, is it her best kind of blockbuster effort? No. But you know what? She makes it work. I like her relationship with Jessica Henwick. Probably the best chemistry on this movie because everyone else is very oddly cast. But they have a warm friendship towards each other. They look like they get along. I enjoyed it. And the fact that they had each other's back throughout this entire terrifying thrill ride was great. John Gallagher Jr., fine. Vincent Cassell, why was he in this? I guess you got to pay your rent, right? So, and then Mamodo Athie, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He was my favorite character and actor in this movie. He's barely in it, so I can't even count him as like one of the best, but he is, better than the majority. And of course, the person I'm not going to really go into that much because I don't really care for him outside of the movie, but I will separate the art from the artist in this case. TJ Miller, he does what he does. He's got a couple of comedic lines, and that's it. It's not really worth bringing up because he doesn't really do much in the movie. Do you blame them for trying to hide him? I mean, it's just, it's not really much going on. And so when he does all these stupid things, and they shot this movie many, many years ago, it's kind of hard to take him out at that point or recast or reshoot. You just got to roll with it. And so I understand that. Yeah, it is very awkward to see him in this movie, for sure. But he's not in it enough to make me go, oh, wow, he completely derailed this movie. Barely even in it. Just like Mamodo Athie, which he should have just had more screen time than TJ Miller. But whatever. Everyone is serviceable. I'll just say that. The creatures themselves, because they are a character in this movie, I'm going to give them respect. They're not good actors, though. But as far as CGI creatures, some interesting things are played with the cinematography, with the eyes glowing in the dark. That's kind of creepy and unsettling. Other than that, they just look like creature blobs that are just swimming, and I don't know, just whatever. And what's really fascinating about this movie is that it hinges on, the thrills and the scares of these creatures and these people reacting to these creatures. And a lot of it is kind of brought up in like, oh, wow, that looks cool. That's really creepy. What is that? But it doesn't go anywhere with it. There's no research done on these creatures. It's just there. And I thought and that's one of the negatives of this movie is the lore and kind of the mythology of this movie. I think is really kind of underplaying it. Because if you really kind of dive into this movie and made it more expansive and kind of dove into, what are some of these creatures, maybe what's some of the backstory behind this company that's doing all this. I don't know. Just anything to kind of grasp onto. I think this movie would have been a tad more interesting and we would have cared about the story just a little bit more. But there's just not much done with any type of mythos to this movie. Character it's literally just a survival tale for an hour and a half. Once again, respect to sticking your guns to that. But I wish there was a tad bit more. What am I expecting with the underwater movie? I don't know. I'm probably just speaking into the void and no one's going to listen. But overall, not a bad time at the theaters. I give it a C+. I give it the plus because some of the ideas of the creatures were fine and unsettling, and the production design was really, really good. So that's why I would give it that plus uptick. But if that stuff was just subpar, I would just give it a C down the middle. Either way, it's a C movie to me. It's not going to go anywhere above that. So what do you guys think of Underwater? Have you even heard of it? Comment that places right below my face and let me know. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.